Hey, what's up everybody? I recently posted a video where I walked through a bunch of the different modes and what I would do if I was an entirely new player to Tekken. And just all of the different features that exist in the game that you can use to slowly improve over time. But one thing that I was thinking about is that, like, for a new player, you want to have fun. You want to be able to play the game, right? And so I think what is important is not just knowing what different training mode features and what different tools you can use to improve over time, but also being able to react to situations while you're in a match and being able to make intelligent decisions like on the fly, right? And so in today's video, I wanted to try to convey my understanding and my system and sort of how I think about the game, to be able to identify opportunities and situations on the fly and try to make intelligent decisions. And you'll have to bear with me here, but I do think that this will be really helpful if you're able to sort of get through everything. But a good amount of this video is going to take place in the handy dandy notepad, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna list out basically all of the different types of ways that a move could be powerful, right? All of the different axes upon which a move could be strong. And we're just gonna start by mentioning startup, right? So in general, the fastest moves in this game are 10 frames. We'll just label that as fast. And some of the slower moves are like in the upper 20s. We're gonna say, don't quote me on this, but we're gonna say something like 26 frames, right? Slow, right? And if we want to try to like qualify which of these do we favor and which of these do we not favor, right? And here, you know, if you take any move in the game and you make it a little bit faster, it's strictly a better move, right? So it's favorable that our move is fast rather than slow, right? Not favorable. Right. Another axis is like advantage, right? So we'll talk about this in here. I'll actually go to the game. Let me pick up my stick off of the ground. I don't even have it on my lap. Also, my wire is faulty. Please. Help me out. Okay, so in terms of advantage, I'm gonna set the dummy to block. And here we're just talking about frame data. So if I have them block this down too, that's true. I don't actually mean for that to be on right now. I'm gonna also set that to block all. Boom. This move happens to be +4 on block, right? Whereas this move happens to be -2. And a move like this is -13, right? So what we can glean from that is some moves can be plus on block. Usually, actually, I'm not even going to put a qualifier on that. Some moves can be plus on block, minus on block. You could be punishable. You could be what we'll call launch punishable. So something where you could get like a big combo, right? And being plus on block is definitely favorable, and being launch punishable is not good, right? Not favorable. What other axes are there? There's also reach. So how far does the move reach? So a move could be stubby, it could be really close, or it could be super reach, all right? Stubby, not favorable, not good. Super reach, favorable. We like that. That's the good shit right there. Another thing is height. Let's talk about how height works in this game. So there are highs, there are mids, and there are lows. Let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of each of them. All right, pretty important to know. Let me get my my hyphens in here. Boom. Now let's go back to training mode. So when it comes to heights, there are three heights again: highs, mids, and lows. When it comes to highs, if I set the dummy to crouch, well, first I'll just have them standing. You'll notice that they're blocking this, right? And then if I set them to crouch, this whiffs, right? So in terms of defending yourself, we're gonna note that standing can block, whiffs on crouch, right? And then for mids, it's, I was about to say the opposite, but that's just not true. For mids, a standing opponent can block these, but if somebody was crouch blocking, they would get hit by a mid, right? So in terms of mids, mids are moves that will hit crouchers. Standing can block, and I'll just put that in the same place. Right. Hits crouchers. And then lows, I think, legitimately are the opposite of that. Where a low, somebody who's crouching will be able to block that. But if we set this person to stand blocking, they're no longer able to block the low. Right? Let's write that down. Standing gets hit. Crouchers can block. But there are a few additional notes that we want to put on lows. Lows are kind of unique in this game. They're kind of the most risky options that there are. Because there are basically two categories of lows is the way that I'll put it. So let me think about how I want to convey this. We're going to go to block all, and we're going to set this to punish. And then, ironically enough, I think what I want them to punish with is not going to make the most sense, so it's probably not going to be on that list. So we'll do this. Let me do it again, because I want to do the entire follow-up. Yeah, like that. Okay, so that's good. So, when we block a move like this, a very long reactable sweep like this, you'll notice that the opponent like staggers, and in the bottom it says frame advantage 31. So this is a launch punishable low. Whenever you have a low that's launch punishable, you're going to be able to get a lot of damage out of it. I'm not going to do a full combo, but you get the idea. You're going to get wall carry, you're going to get a bunch of damage. It's a full combo, right? It's launch punishable. But if our opponent was to do instead something like down 4 here, now this is not a move that is launch punishable, right? So if I block this, I don't get while standing 2. However, Tekken has a mechanic called low parry, which is where if you tap down forward, and you can hold it for a little bit, but not too long. But if you push down forward, you will basically launch the opponent for a full combo. But it's only for lows, right? Right. And it's not full damage. You don't get a tornado after it, and you're not going to get full wall carry. But it is still, you know, a significant amount of carry to the wall and also a significant amount of damage, right? And so this puts lows in a unique situation where if they're really risky, then they get full launched and punished. And even if they're not that risky, they can still get full launched and punished, right? So lows are uniquely riskier than other options in the game. Low parry means everything is launchable, right? And so this is sort of a weird situation, but highs are, I think, probably the least favorable because they offer nothing in the way of mix-up, right? And again, we're just talking about these qualities in isolation, right? Highs obviously can be good and they can be great, but they aren't good exclusively because they're highs, if that makes sense. So these are the least favorable. Mids, I would say, are the most favorable, both because it's a part of a mix-up between like mids and lows, but also because it's not in the unique position of being always punishable in the same way that a low is. And then I think lows are like the middle ground, right? They're also a part of this mix-up between mids and lows, but they're uniquely more punishable than like other options are, right? What's another quality? The damage potential. If I could spell. Also, there's no spell check in Notepad, so if I spell something wrong, just yell at me in the comments, I guess. Fuck it. So if the damage potential is high, I smile. If the damage potential is low, I frown. All right, it's no good, right? I think we all get that. Tracking. So there's a few different types of tracking. The first is like a homing, which is just something that would track whether they sidestep to the left or right. It's just all the way around. There are moves that catch sidestep right, catch, sidestep left, and then moves that are sort of linear, is what we'll say. Not favorable, ideal, and then these are both just good. At sort of a mid-level, let me think about what I want to say here. At sort of a mid-level, I feel like the sidestep right and sidestep left catching things, you'll kind of just use them to try to catch people's tendencies. But at a higher level, this would be a part of like conditioning, right? You would use like maybe a bunch of stuff that catches sidestep left to encourage them to sidestep right, and then you would switch it up to be able to, you know, again, it's just part of your mix-up. So the strength of these will also, like the strength of your moves that catch sidestep left ends up being related or correlated to the strength of moves that are catching sidestep right, if that makes sense, right? Difficulty of the input. Hard to do. Frown. I don't like that. Easy to do. Smile. That's the good shit, right? And again, we're only talking about these qualities in isolation, right? And there are a couple of other qualities, but these are like the ones that I think it's easiest to focus on for right now, right? So let me try to get this looking nice and pretty. This is fine. Let me get rid of all these. Boom. Okay. So why did we do this? Why did we list all of this out? Well, it's because I want to point out that Tekken moves are designed to be good. And in order to be good, you have to be good in multiple ways. However, a Tekken move cannot be good in every way. A Tekken move cannot be 10 frames and plus on block, and also reach really far, and also be a mid, and also have high damage potential, and also be homing, and also be easy to do. It's not allowed. If you find a move like that, I need you to call me. Tell nobody else, come to me, let me know what the move is, and then I'll use it, okay? But in general, this is a move that has not known God's light, right? This cannot exist. So moves are balanced by giving you good things about them and then mitigating them by having downsides, right? So for instance, you might have a 10 frame move, but that 10 frame move is not a mid. That 10 frame move is a high. You might have a move that is both a mid and is plus on block, but if that's the case, it's probably not also homing, right? It's probably linear and you're probably able to sidestep it. And so the reason that I'm conveying all of this information is because, another one just real quick, is that this damage potential and this advantage are usually highly correlated, right? So the more damage that a tool is able to do, usually the more punishable it is in return, right? The higher the reward, the higher the risk associated with it. And so the reason that I'm pointing all of this out is because when you are in a match and you think to yourself, damn, that move is really good, I want you to stop and think to yourself, what is good about it? Like, is it good because it's fast and it's homing? Is it good because it's a mid that's plus on block? What about it is tripping you up? What about it is so good? And then when you identify what's good about it, you're also in return identifying what's probably not good about it, right? Because again, a move can't be good at all of these things. It's not allowed. A move can only be good at like 3 of these things. And then the rest of it has to be either like okay or bad at in order for the game to like make sense, right? So if you're like, okay, this is a homing mid that's plus on block, what do I do about it? Well, it's probably either, you know, slow on startup, and so you're probably going to be able to interrupt it, or maybe just the damage potential on it is so low that like it doesn't super matter that much, right? Something like that, right? So yeah, this is just a thought process that I had. I think it could potentially help you, so I wanted to share my thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.